All right, good. Let's get started. Hello, everyone, and everyone. I mean, no one, because no. Oh, there we go. We got one person watching now. All right. Welcome to the Business Growth Insiders podcast, episode number 9, but the very first live stream show.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Yeah.
I am your host, Jeff Evans. With me, the COVID to my 19, Lisa McGuire. Lisa, how are we doing today?
Doing quite well, Jeff, with this remote working. It's really becoming a way of life.
It's becoming something. I don't know if it's a way of life. For all of us with children, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hey, let's just get right into the show today. I'm so excited. This guest could not have come at a better time for all of us. I'd like to y'all to introduce to Wendy Ellin. Wendy Ellin is a workplace productivity consultant, international speaker, and author of Enough is Enough. Get control of your stuff. Her insights into living an organized life are shared in her presentations with irreverence, humor, and a level of passion that motivates her audience to take immediate action. And Wendy, we need to take immediate action. We are stuck here. We are in our homes. We are hunkered down, and productivity could seriously be lacking here. So first of all, thank you so much for coming on the show. And if you just take a little moment and just kind of give us an introduction and kind of, how did you get into what you do?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for having me, you guys. This is awesome. Very excited. Great way to start the weekend, right? Although what's a weekend these days?
We don't have those anymore.
I know. So I am just so 100% passionate about helping people navigate this experience. That's really what this is all about, right? This is the new normal, so they say. And I am just, I have no stress about the way this is happening for me because of the way I operate on a regular basis. Most of the world does not feel that way. Most of the world is taking on additional stress because now they are hunkered down in a space that doesn't really serve them well. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question, remains, how do you create what you want? I mean, you can see, if you're seeing me, you can see what's behind me. I created that. That's what I look at every day. I'm in my home office. Now I've been working at my home office for 20 years. So I've created a space that A, brings me joy, and B, yields massive productivity because I don't have any distraction. I only have what I like to look at. Right? So really, this is the time. There couldn't be a better time in the world than right now to create the space that you want to bring you joy and help you get things done.
Yeah. And I think right now what we're seeing is a lot of people stuck in their homes. We're going to see a lot of, after we come out of this, home improvement, a lot of maybe putting your house on the market, getting your house all together. People are really staying there and looking at what am I living in. So I think that's a great point, Wendy.
Yeah, I mean, my husband's just moved home to we were just talking about this. I'm like, every 5 seconds he's muttering under his breath about his technology not working. And I'm like, dude, you need to just chill out. Okay. This is my space that I've been working in for 20 years. And all of a sudden you're here and I can hear all this little muttering, but we're going to have to decorate to create an office upstairs for him because he's got to get out of my space.
Is he in the room right now listening to you say
no, he's in the other room right now. He's on a phone call like distance away. And I'm like, take it outside or upstairs. And, so now all of a sudden I got the decorating bug, right? Because I'm going to be in this house and I'm going to have to look at the space. Yeah. But, for me, it's a decorating issue. It's not a creating a productive space. It already is productive. But for most people, they're really struggling. There are a lot of people here that are coming home to work that have a corner of their dining room table. That's their office.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the reality of this.
So, okay.
And, listen, I'm one of these really realistic people. I'm a little irreverent. I'm brutally honest. I'm a New Yorker at heart. And whenever I work with my clients, the first thing we talk about, okay, let's create a column over here that's called "It is what it is." What falls on it? Like if you have kids that you have to homeschool while you're working, it is what it is. Unless you're going to shoot your kids, give them away, sell them, or toss them out, it is what it is. Right? So these are things now that we have to deal with. How do we just deal with them as best we can?
Okay, so how do we deal with that? I mean, for myself personally, my wife is homeschooling our 9-year-old. She'll be 3 this month, actually, 27th. She'll be 3 years old, and she's a passionate child, that's for sure.
Mhm.
So, you know, how how do we stay productive during this? And you can look at it from my wife's point of view or from my point of view, because I have to work all day and sit in an upstairs office and try and keep everybody out, but it doesn't always happen that way.
So here's an idea that I have that I've been sharing for years with some of my clients that work from home, regardless of the pandemic that's going on, right? There's a whole world out there that works from home, particularly when you have kids. Here's a great idea. Go out and buy, if you don't already have, although I see that you have a lamp behind you, Jeff, put a lamp on your desk and buy a bright red light bulb. And when the light has when the red light is on, that means you can't come in my office right now. I'm on a call, I'm doing something. If the red light is not on, you're available. It's like, I believe even in an office environment that there are times when you can be interrupted and there are times where you can't.
Right.
And you have to learn how to set boundaries around your time.
Okay.
Now is the time to set boundaries around your time in your house. And you can basically say, this is the new normal, kids. This is the way it's going to work. If you come by my office and you see a red light, not available.
Mhm.
But if you see no light on or the regular light on, I'm available. You can interrupt me. And then make a game out of this. You're talking about kids. You got to make a little bit of a game out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the time that it's going to work best for us. Look at the way, what are the kids' needs, right? Does the kid have the most energy in the morning where you want to give her the time? And then once you give her the time, you can say, okay, you had an hour where you could interrupt me. No more interrupting. Daddy's got to go to work. And then do another session again in the afternoon. Listen, it's really hard to get the kind of work done that you were getting when you were in an office. Yeah. But on some level, interruptions are interruptions. Call them what you want. Doesn't matter who's giving it to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really believe that there is a time for interruptions and a time not for it. And it's okay for you to say, here's the time at which I'm going to be available. And maybe you talk with your wife and she gives an hour and you give an hour. And the other time, throw the kid in front of a television. Sorry, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, well, luckily we have all the channels for our children. That's for sure. That is the digital babysitter, as we call it. Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt. Well, that's great information. Right. Thanks, Wendy. I appreciate that. I'm gonna use the red light, and then I'm gonna have to play the police. Then we're
now all of a sudden you're gonna go on Amazon to buy red light bulbs, and they're all gonna be sold out.
Pick your color.
But I tell you, every time I try to go on it. I try to go on Amazon to buy anything right now, and it's like 3 weeks out for Prime. It's ridiculous.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Can't buy anything. And then I see there's states that are actually making some items in stores non-essential so that you can't purchase them in the store. Even though they're there in display, you can't actually purchase them. It's bizarre. Absolutely bizarre.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're living in a history book right now. And
we're living in a history book, and we're going to come out of this so much different than we went in, right? Like so. Life has changed as we no question.
I think we're going to have our priorities in a much different place. We're going to see what we truly need versus what we wanted. You're going to see the benefit of having community and being kind to each other, which I think a lot of that went by the wayside.
Yep. And what's really interesting, I'm talking to a friend who's looking at maybe reinventing himself in this part. He's got a business that could very potentially go under very quickly. Mm-hmm. And I said, let's start to think about what are people going to want to do when they get out of this. They're going to want to congregate. They're going to want to travel. I'm going to want to be in groups of people. I'm going to want to hear live music. Mm-hmm. I'm going to want to get on a plane and go anywhere. Right. But I do bring this back to what I do. And one of the things you just said sparked something with me, Lisa. Now's the time to purge. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now's the time to purge. First of all, if you want to create a space that brings you joy, you got to have enough space in your space for you to even enjoy it. Right. Mm-hmm. And that means getting rid of your crap. Mm-hmm. And so I have a process for how to do that I want to share with these people.
Awesome.
Okay. Get ready.
Okay.
It's called my 3-box process. Really, the first box is not a box, it's a bag. It's a big, large black trash bag, and it means toss. Okay? So the first thing is you want to literally take your space, whatever space that is. Let's say you're in this office. Well, in my office, there are also lots of spaces. The bookshelf behind me is a space. The credenza that my underneath my pink picture is a space, right? So every one of those items in an actual room are a place that you can declutter. Okay. So you're literally going to open a drawer and you're going to pick up something and you're going to decide whether it stays or goes. You get to make that decision. Nobody makes it for you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Once you get rid of the tossing stuff where you know you don't need to keep, then you're going to stumble on the stuff that you don't need, but maybe somebody else does. And that's the gift box. Mm-hmm. I don't need it, but maybe someone else does. You know, you got a little squeaky toy or a little something toy in your top drawer that you don't want, that you don't really need. Maybe it's something you want to give to your kid, right? Okay. Whatever. Maybe there are files in your office that don't even belong to you, that belong to somebody you work with. You're going to put them in the mail and send them to the person who's working out of their home office that they belong. Right. Okay. Then so the first box is trash. The second box is gift, meaning you don't want it when someone else does. And then the last box are the keepers. Now, here's the key with the keepers. I only want you to keep what you need and what you love. And there's a word that's missing. Either of you guys want to guess what that word is? What's that? I only want you to keep what you need and what you love. The word that's missing there is like. Like. And here's why. We like everything, right? That's what's gotten us in this mess to begin with. We like everything. We collect everything. Something we like it, we buy it. We see something that someone's giving away, we want it, right? Mm-hmm. And so life has gotten us in trouble. But when you narrow down your consuming to only keeping what you need, because you use it for whatever reason, and you love, that's it. Everything that you see behind me is something that I love or I need. There's no like in my life at all. Look, and we don't marry the guy that we like, do we? No, we marry the guy.
I didn't marry a guy. Just saying.
Or the girl, but we don't marry the person that we like. We marry the person that we love, right? You know, we don't really, the friends that are the dearest to you are the ones we love, not the ones we like.
Right.
So let's just use this concept in every aspect of our life. Let's just get rid of even the toxic people that don't bring us joy anymore, right? Now is the time to really look around your house and decide like or love, like or love, like or love, all the likes go out. And the easiest way to get this started is this. I'm going to challenge everybody on this call to do this. I want you to get an empty box, probably one of the Amazon boxes that's going to be delivered to your house tomorrow. Wipe it down. Bring it in your house and stick it somewhere centrally to your home, in a hallway, outside the kitchen or whatever. And as you go through your life over the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks while we're in the house till the end of April, every time you stumble on something or you pick up something that you realize that you don't use, throw it in the box. And let's see what we can collect over a month's time. Doesn't matter what drawer it came from. It could come from a utensil drawer. It could come from a drawer in your bathroom. What do you have that you're not using?
Yeah, Wendy, I think that's a great concept. I just went through a bit of process like that myself, cleaning out my house after my 2 children left after, out on their own, empty nest. And what I did is I had this rule, will I need it moving forward? If not, I get rid of it unless I love it. Now, when I describe this process to others, people would say, I can't give that away. I paid too much money for it. Ooh. How do you approach those folks?
Here's the thing. I'm really, really firm on, listen, if you want to live amongst your clutter, I want you to live amongst your clutter. Okay. You got to do this for you, not me. I love what I get out of living this way. Seriously, the reward is enormous. Yeah. But the what's in it for you has to be strong enough that you're willing to make a decision based on how you feel versus what you spent. Right? There's a lot of things that I've gotten rid of that I've spent a lot of money on in my lifetime. But they didn't serve me well. They weren't being used. They could be used by somebody who needs it more than I do, right? I mean, Goodwill right now should be the one that's benefiting from this pandemic more than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Goodwill should be overloaded. If every single one of us in the world went through all their stuff and got rid of stuff that they didn't need that somebody else could use, how huge would that be? Yeah. I'm really very clear about not wanting excess in my life.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't like to have that many choices.
Mm-hmm. So talk to us about working remotely. What are some 2 or 3 tips we could use to start cleaning out that clutter in our physical space or, our work day?
Well, the first thing is, look, I think it's really important in this experience to start to set up some routines. Have some routines for what your day is going to look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a morning routine where I get up every morning, I meditate, I drink a glass of hot water with lemon first thing in the morning before my coffee. I try to move my body at some, exercise. Usually it's in the morning, unless it's too cold, I'll wait until it warms up. But I move my body. I look at my day. I literally look at my calendar and make sure that everything that's going to happen. I had a 3:00 appointment today that canceled, and I was invited to an outdoor yoga class in the neighborhood. And so now I can go because that appointment was canceled, but she only takes 10 people because she only has room to put us all 10 feet away. And so maybe that will or will not happen. But, your day just moves. It is what it is, right? So I'm big on routines. And then I want to get my most important things done. And this was on the top of my list. My most important thing was doing this with you guys today, right? I have a pretty light day. Mm-hmm. I also am building in time to exercise every day. I am committed to my getting fit while I'm doing this because I normally travel for a living because I have an international speaking business. Mm-hmm. It's real hard to keep a working out routine when you travel. I got no excuse now. Right?
No, that's right. None of us do.
Morning routines really important. Being realistic about this experience also. There are just a lot of interruptions and a lot of new things that we're all trying to get used to. Stop trying to think that you're going to get the same amount of work and productivity done that you were when you were in an office and nobody was bothering you. It's unlikely to happen, right? Mm-hmm. So Marty and I decided that we were going to not look at it as 5 days of work and 2 days of weekend. We have 7 days of work and play.
Yeah.
So we're both going to work on Saturday and Sunday because why not? Because we played yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It's really kind of cool to not be worried about whether it's a Saturday or Sunday.
It's just Blur's Day. It's Blur's Day.
Totally is. Right. And I always talk about how I plurk. I play and I work every day.
That's great.
Wendy, we were my wife and I were discussing this yesterday, and we were just being thankful because I work around this area anyway, so working from home it's stressful right now because of everyone being here, but it's not that big of a deal. But for somebody who travels all the time, we were discussing how hard that must be to come back home to your loved ones, and you don't travel anymore. So are you fiending to get back out there on the road? Like, are you? Yeah. Just from the look, I can tell that you are.
Okay. So the first thing I said to Marty when this thing happened was, I'm not worried about the coronavirus, but let me ask you a question. Has anybody died of cabin fever?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I got it bad. Like, I love my life. I have created this life where everywhere I travel, I get a speaking gig, and everywhere I speak, I stay and play. And this is tough for me.
Yeah.
I have got cabin fever big time, which is why I'm getting outside. I'm doing a ton of virtual dinners with our friends. We're on a calendar like almost 4 nights a week. We have virtual dinners at 6:30 where we're plated and we're cooked. They're plated and they cooked. We sit in Zoom and we eat dinner together all over the place.
That's great.
I love that. That's a great idea.
That's wonderful.
That is really, really important to us. So we're seeing our friends and we're seeing people that we won't even speak to that often. Like, they're close friends, but we're all real busy. We're seeing some great couple, which is great. We FaceTime with our girls. We have 2 grown daughters. Every Thursday at 5:00, we check in with each other. I never see my kids that often. Seriously.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really trying to make this as positive as I can. Mm-hmm. And I'm having a great time. I just created this group class where I'm really available. I've created office hours. I feel like the professor at a college. I have office hours on Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 5, where any one of my students who are in my group class can reach out to me then. If I were traveling, there's no way I'd be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm making myself, I'm more available to do things that I haven't done before, and I'm actually really enjoying it. And I cannot wait to get on a plane. That.
Nobody says that anymore. It's the worst customer service on the planet.
Right.
Wow.
So it's just, the best advice I can give people is to just, try to relax into this. Just you gotta just try and relax into this. We don't have a choice. I don't have a choice, right? Move your body. Every time you want to walk to the refrigerator, walk outside instead. I mean, listen, new businesses are going to hatch from this. Babies are going to be born, right? People are going to get heavier. People are going to get thinner, right?
Sure.
What's going to happen from this is going to be really interesting to see, but we all have a choice. I want to be one of the ones that gets thinner, not heavier. I'm making a conscious decision to do that.
Yeah, I'd like to not be any heavier either. But
my brother, who lives in Decatur, Georgia, challenged my husband and I to do this with him, where every day we're doing 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, and 100 push-ups.
That's amazing.
I'm on day 6.
Okay.
I started last Saturday. We're doing it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's
Good
awesome.
for you.
So I'm really, but here's the thing. Why am I doing it? Because I want the outcome.
Right.
There's a reward with that.
Yeah.
Why do you declutter? Because you want the outcome. Right?
So let's talk about what are some of the benefits of having the clutter go away.
Well, first is peace of mind, right? I always say your house is there to create joy for you. It's not there to create jobs. You have to wake up and walk out of your bedroom, and in the hallway, there's a pile you have to take care of. And on that table, there's a pile you have to take care of. And you walk into your kitchen, and there's 4 or 5 jobs, right? There are no jobs in my house. I literally have a home that creates joy for me, where I get to experience the space that I'm in. But we got to set that up, right? So it's just making sure that you're not living above your means spatially, that you actually have enough space to hold the stuff that you have. And when I say hold the stuff, a pile is not an option, right?
Right.
I'm talking about a wall, a drawer, a shelf, a bin, a closet, And here's the thing. Now's the time to get your whole family involved in this. This doesn't have to be a solo project. We're all home that's there, right? We're all living under the same roof. Right. What do you want to look like? What do you want that to feel like? All right. This feels like joy every day, all day long.
That's great. So, Wendy, when you work with your clients, what exactly do you do? What services do you offer?
It's such an array. I have corporate clients where I go in and I train teams at a time. Okay. I do my 3-hour workshop, and then I do one-on-ones with whoever wants it. That I'm usually at a client office for a week or so, no matter where it is in the world. I do one-on-one coaching, where I'm working just one-on-one with you on a Zoom call. And we're really literally going through all the stuff that you have. We're dealing with all the different issues that relate to disorganization. Paper issues, email issues, calendar issues, mindset issues, multitasking versus unitasking, procrastination, perfectionism, all the issues that relate to disorganization. And we tackle them one at a time, right? I always tell people, if you need me, you didn't get this way overnight. We're not going to undo it overnight. This is a process. People say to you, what's your hourly rate? I said, I don't have an hourly rate because I can't help you in an hour. Right?
That's a good point.
The minimum you can work with me is a half a day. And that's just a jump start. Okay. And now I started this group program, which is really cool and really inexpensive. And we're all in it together. And I just started my first group, which is 20 people. Last night was the first class. Amazing. Really amazing. Everybody feels like, oh my God, there's someone else in this with me. I'm not the only one that's a mess.
Right.
And I'm pairing everybody up with an accountability partner. And they all have to meet at least once a week, however they want to. So, lots of different ways. Yeah, I have to be flexible for the best way someone is going to learn how to do this stuff. A lot of people don't want to be in a group. They need the one-on-one attention.
Right. So if I were in a situation, how would I recognize I needed you? What would that look like? Like, where do I get to the point? You know, I've seen all these posts on Jeff needs you. All these posts on Facebook. Apparently, I wasn't organizing because I didn't have time. It's just I'm lazy. So where do we get to the point? Where's the tipping point where we say, I need Wendy?
How much pain are you in?
Okay, so that's it.
Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. How much pain? If you're not in enough pain, there's no incentive, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to be in enough pain that you are listen, people lose weight because they're in pain over some issue, right? I always say that I'm sort of like the Weight Watchers and the smoke enders of getting organized. And people say to me, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, well, they're the top 3 New Year's resolutions: lose weight, quit smoking, and get organized. And what do they all have in common? You got to want it bad enough.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't just say, I'm going to try to get organized. Trying doesn't work. You're not going to try to lose weight. You're going to lose weight. I'm not going to try to do these 100 squats and push-ups and crunches every day. I'm going to do them, whatever it takes. But you got to be that committed, because I'm asking you to change the way you live. And that's not an easy thing to do. So the reward better be big enough. If I tell you that you're going to make twice as much money or a third amount of money more a year by getting organized and getting systems in place, is that a big enough incentive? Is going home an hour early to be with your newborn an incentive? Right?
Yeah.
Is having a peaceful relationship with your significant others important enough? Like, what's it to you?
Mm-hmm.
Money's not the driving factor for everybody. Peace of mind is, maybe. Right? The driving factor is different for everybody.
It is different. It is different. Although money does drive a lot of those factors. That's for sure.
You got to see that there's a connection between less chaos, less overwhelm, more focus, and making more money.
Okay, good point. All right, so this is going to be shown. I mean, we're live right now, but we're all going to obviously put this up on LinkedIn, YouTube, which are, 2 big drivers. Business people spend a lot of time on their phones, especially at home, especially when they should be working. So, what do you say to somebody that's watching this now? Say on LinkedIn, and they lost their job, they're down on their luck because of what's going on, or they're just frustrated with being there. What do you say to somebody like that to kind of, because you're from New York, so you could snap people into shape quickly just with your language.
Snap out of it. So here's, it's hard because I live my life rooted in gratitude. Okay? It's the way I'm out. It's the way I operate, and I see the value that I get in it. I literally can look around, and no matter what's going on, I can find the silver lining. Right.
Okay.
So, for the people that have lost their job, I mean, listen, you're not in this alone. You are one of millions of people who have lost their job, right? You are going to be okay. And I think in this right now, in this moment, I know you guys have seen videos everywhere, and everybody's sending you memes and clips and cartoons and everything. But the things that are sticking with me the most is that this is an opportunity. This is a gift that we don't even know how big of a gift it is, right?
Right.
So I have a friend, as I was telling you before, who's thinking about reinventing himself, who's got a flooring business for retail companies. And I basically said to him, dude, that business, whether it was going down before or not, there are going to be a lot of retailers that are not going to open up again. They're not.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to Ann Taylor when you can buy them online.
Right.
Now is the time to reinvent yourself. It's really the time to get creative and think of, what are people going to want to do? What problems do we have that you have a solution for?
Right.
And get out there in a big way when this thing is all over, because you're not going to be the only one. Everybody's thinking of how to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
But like I said to him, make sure it's something that brings you joy. Make sure it's something you're interested in, right? Like music. He happens to be a musician. Music's not going to go away. Music is going to be more powerful than ever. Listen, you see all these musicians, that are doing concerts in their living room, they all want to get out there and get on stage again.
Right.
They want us to come see them play. Let's get a little creative about what's going to happen when this is all said and done. Don't go back to what you've been doing if that's going to be not relevant.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be creative, and you have to believe that there is a silver lining here, whether to start looking for what the silver lining is and to lead with gratitude. I really believe that what you put out, you get back, and what you focus on expands. So you can focus on the I don't have any work and that that it's doom and gloom, or you can focus on I got a roof over my head and I got food on my table, and maybe I have toilet paper in my bathroom.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Not all of us do, that's for sure.
I think you could bring up a great point, Wendy, is instead of pausing and looking behind, look forward. What opportunities are out there? How can I pivot my business? People now have different problems than they did 6 weeks ago. What are those problems? What can you do? And what will they be like coming out of it? You know, I just think people are going to have such a different perspective. So you bring up a really good point.
Totally.
Yeah, I think fear is a big driver right now for people. Obviously, not everyone, but there's a lot of fear. And even if the president comes out and says everything's fine, y'all can leave the house or whatever, I can see quite a few people not going back to their typical ways of doing things anymore. I think you're going to see a lot more Uber Eats orders, and you're going to see a lot more delivery services. You're going to see a lot more people working from home, trying to create their own businesses. I mean, you're going to see a lot of people that are going to need online courses. I mean, if that gentleman that you have, if he can figure out a way to do online courses for people that are thinking of starting an Amazon store, I mean, that's a multi-billion-dollar a year business in and of itself. Just the education portion, it's huge.
He was telling me that he has a friend that he was talking to about starting a trucking company for deliveries.
Yeah,
go for it. Right?
Exactly. Are you kidding me?
But the other thing is to remember that once this thing is all said and done, we want to get out of our house. Let's not forget that. The WeWorks and the Roams and those places, they're going to start to thrive again, because I'm not going to want to be in this space every day. I'd rather go co-work where I see other human beings. Right?
I do, but I don't think it's going to last forever. I think people will, I think we all get back into not all of us, but I think the people will get back into their set ways. They'll be at Rome's and WeWorks and thrive, in Alpharetta for a while, and then they'll be like, okay, I'm going back home. It's just people are habit creatures. I think one of the things that I'm trying to do is to break those habits, meditation and things like that, to try and create new neural pathways, if you will.
Totally.
To be able to get out of some of these habits. And it's hard right now. I started that process before this whole thing hit, and now that we're home all the time, boy, it's tough. I mean, I'm getting up and taking a shower and leaving the house and going and getting coffee. I have plenty of coffee here. I roast my own, but lately I wanted to get out of the house, get in the car, and feel like I'm doing something that's somewhat normal, except just coming into my office in my pajamas. And it's worked. My productivity has gone up, that's for sure. So
we're all having to change some habits right now, every single one of us. Right? I mean, the grocery store for me is an outing. I don't even like the grocery store.
I love the grocery store. It's always been an outing for my family.
Right. These days, can we just get in the convertible and take the dog and drive to the 3 grocery stores we go to just to get out?
There you go.
I'm walking more. The animals are so happy right now. It's funny.
Have you seen there's a meme going around of a dog that's like up on top of the cabinets in the kitchen, and it's like, no, I'm not coming down. We've already been on 10 walks today.
No, but I've seen the one that's got a person's voice while his mouth is moving that says, okay, you guys need to get out of here. Okay, you guys, enough of you. I just want to stay home and lick my body.
That's
Leave me alone.
I feel bad for the cats, because they rule the house, and we're not here.
Right.
We don't have cats, but people that do have cats, those poor cats, they're like, come on, guys, leave. We're done.
See, this is the stuff you need. This is the humor. We really need the humor. I'm telling you, when I got that little dog talking the other day, Marty goes, what's wrong with you? I said, I am literally almost about to pee in my pants. I was hysterical looking at this. It's like,
you know,
Take what
that's
you
yeah. You got to look at
right?
business. You got to take a lighter approach to
Mhm.
business. There's a gentleman, Jesse Cole. He
Oh,
owns the
yeah.
Savannah Bananas.
Mhm.
And if you don't know who he is, go look him up. He's on LinkedIn every day. This guy wears a yellow tuxedo with a yellow top hat. And he's taken this baseball team in Savannah and turned it into a must see event
Mhm.
every single week. Obviously, not right now, but sold
Jesse
out.
Cole.
Yeah, Jesse Cole. This guy's incredible, and he's taken this approach from his idols are like Walt Disney, P.T. Barnum, and then another gentleman that escapes my mind. But he's a guy that took his genuine love for entertainment and for putting on a show and did that with a baseball team, and people love it. They don't think it's cheesy. They absolutely love it. And I actually
Marty,
asked,
my husband's a huge baseball fan. He
yeah.
will love this.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, without a doubt. Well, he may not. If he's a huge baseball fan, he may be like, "Well, this is taking away from the game," but I don't think
right.
so. I mean, it's minor league ball, first of all. So no,
It
come on.
Yeah, and it's a
Yeah, this
college
thing is fun.
summer league is what it is. It's a college summer league, and they're sold out seasons ahead of time, just because of the whole experience. They'll have one night where you wear your boxer shorts on the outside of your clothing. I mean, they do wild and crazy things, but it's
They
fun.
do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
It's
great. Listen, isn't this crazy also that at a time like this, there's no sports on television?
Mhm,
yeah. Well, and no celebrities that we have to deal with either, which I love because
mhm,
I'm like, we don't really need y'all. And they're if you watch their shows at night, they're where they're doing it from their own phones without laugh tracks. They're not very funny. They're
mhm.
Right.
It makes a
which
difference.
it does make a
Yeah.
difference. You know, makes people
Yeah.
like me think I'm actually somewhat funny if I can get somebody to laugh. That's good.
So, the whole thing, like every once in a while, I literally, like, particularly when I'm watching CNN every night, I turn around, I look at Marty and I go, I still can't believe this is happening.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
That the
Stop watching
whole
CNN.
world is shut down.
Yeah, the whole
It's
world.
unbelievable. Yeah,
Whole world.
It's
Yep.
really unbelievable.
it
It
is.
Yep.
truly is. And
Yep.
I was listening to this real fast. This entrepreneur marketer guy that's pretty big in the world. His name's Todd Herman. Todd Herman lives in New York City. Todd Herman
Mhm,
had coronavirus, or still technically has it, and he talked on video about his experience with it. And he was very honest and very truthful. This wasn't this wasn't a news story. This was him on his own channel, and it was powerful. And it kind of made me go, okay, this is kind of a very serious thing, because I don't pay attention to the news that much, because it's all fear, 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 scare, scare,
mhm.
scare. For them to make more money, and that's all they are. And so I'm like, yeah. But this guy, hearing that, I was like, wow. He can't hold his breath for more than 6 seconds,
What-
because of the way that it interacts
Mhm.
with your lungs and all of that. And he says he got it probably because he had a leg injury, and he had to go into the hospital, and he thinks he got it from being in the hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's we're living in a very, very crazy time. People think it's nothing. They think it's the flu. Other thinks it's the end of the world. I don't know what it is. All I know is that sooner or later we're all going to go back to work outside of the home, and we all better be
Mhm.
ready. And we should all take this time to better ourselves. That's for sure.
And so now's the time to get rid of your stuff
Yeah.
so that when this
Mhm.
is all over and you go back out into the world, you come home to a space that brings you joy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I
Wendy, why
can't
don't you tell us a little bit more about that coaching program, because now people have time. Tell us about that.
So it's a group coaching program that has no more than 20 people in it, or at least it has to have an even number, because I pair people up and they have accountability partners, right? And we're meeting twice a month. One's a coaching call, one's a Q&A call. We're checking in. I'm checking in. Everybody has one-on-ones with me. I have office hours for when you need me. And then over time, I'm rolling out my tools. So the very first tool is the decluttering tool, because I'm all about
Mhm.
instant gratification in the physical space.
Mhm.
So last night I rolled out the 3-box process, and now I'm giving everybody 2 weeks to start doing this. Listen, if everybody would stop working and just do what I ask them to do, we could do this every week. But the reality of it is I'm getting you to do this in between your life, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So a lot of people aren't going to even get to the decluttering until maybe the weekend or maybe in the evenings.
Mhm.
So every month we're going to roll out a different tool. Then we're going to get to the decluttering your e-clutter. Then we're going to talk about your calendar. Then we're going to talk about, your self-defeating behaviors. And, people are going to be doing this on their own time, in their own space. We're going to talk about setting up home offices. What are people's options? We're all in an office, right? I have a
Right.
door guy, but that's not the case for everybody. right? What's the best space in your house that we can create the space for you to work in is the question, right? That's my goal for them. And it's really everybody's like has checked in with me. What a great, there's a Facebook community. Everybody's checked in with me. There's a platform where you download the handouts before the class. It's really a lot of fun. And it's honestly the most inexpensive way you can work with me. It's kind of off the charts crazy.
Yeah. And so how long does the program last?
It's every month ongoing. And if you want to drop out, you can. There's no commitment to it. But I say to them, don't come into this class if you're a one-shot, 1 month person. Not going to work.
Right.
If you're going to get these tools, you're not. So I say at least 3 to 6 months you're going to be in this class. And it's completely affordable. Completely 100% affordable. In fact, it's so inexpensive, you can't afford not to do it because you're going to be, it's life-changing. It's a transformation. It's called Org Boot, which is short for Organizational Boot Camp. And it's Org Boot, a collective transformation from chaos to clarity. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm taking you all you chaotic people out there to live a life of clarity.
That's awesome. Wendy, where can people find more information about Org Boot as well as anything else that you have to offer?
Anything about Wendy Ellin, just go to wendyellin.com. And it's WendyEllin, not EN. So it's wendyellin.com. That's my website. This class is not on wendyellin.com yet. The way to get to that, to learn more about it, is to go to groupcoaching.orgboot.com.
Okay.
So that's groupcoaching.orgboot, ORGBOOT, short for Organizational Bootcamp.com.
Okay. And listeners, watchers, we'll also put this information in the show notes on the actual podcast that will be on our website, businessgrowthinsiders.com, as well as the posts that are going to go up on YouTube and LinkedIn, as well as Facebook, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, Wendy, we've been on for 42 minutes, which is amazing. I think we could honestly go all day with this information because I think we all seriously need it. I'm literally looking at boxes over here with stuff that my kids don't play with anymore. And now I'm regretting because I think my wife's been listening to this the whole time. So now I'm going to be cleaning all day. So thanks a lot, Wendy. Appreciate it.
To my
Oh, did we lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go. You're back. You pulled the Walt Disney on us, frozen solid. All right, Wendy. Any parting information? Any parting tips, tricks, or anything before we end our show?
No, just bite this off in chunks, you guys. You know, you're not gonna just totally clear it all away. Just take one small space at a time, or decide that for an hour you're going to do as much as you can possibly do in an hour. Right? Bribe your kids into doing this with them. They'll get an extra hour of something, or they'll get an extra something. They get to order a $5 toy online for going into their bedroom and putting all the toys and the stuff they don't use in a trash bag. Right?
Okay.
There's so many little creative ways you can get creative about this. But I'm telling you, only keep what you need and you love. Okay. And if you have questions, holler, email me at wendyellin.com. I'm here to help you however I can.
Thanks, Wendy.
Yeah, thank you, Wendy. And I just want to let our audience know as well. I first found Wendy she was speaking at a networking event, and the golden nuggets I got on how to clean out my inbox and my emails was amazing. It was life-changing. So if you need a speaker when we're out back circulating in the world at some point, contact Wendy. She's an amazing and inspiring speaker.
Thank you. Thank you. Bless you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks Wendy. Thank you for being on the show. You too. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Be well.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you all for listening to the Business Growth Insiders podcast, episode 9. If you guys like what you hear, please come back. We're going to do more live shows. As long as we're stuck in here, we're going to do as many live shows as humanly possible. Please subscribe. We're on iTunes, we're Google, we're everywhere. And you can always hit us up on our own businesses as well. Thank you all very, very much. Y'all have a blessed day.
And take your business and grow.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.